My name is Kingsley and I'm 30 years old. I've been married to my wife, Lily, for almost 6 years and she is 28. We met at college and were instantly drawn to each other. After a while, we began dating and by the time we were done with college, we immediately got married. We both had great jobs and our relationship was absolutely amazing. For the first 4 years of our marriage, everything felt like the honeymoon phase, and then in the 5th year, things started to change. She began acting differently, and I knew I needed to act right then and there. I suggested that we go to couples therapy or something to get our relationship back on track, but she declined it, saying that we didn't need therapy, that she just needed some time for herself. Being the gentleman that I am, I gently agreed to her request. Within that period of her needing time for herself, we didn't have intimacy because each time I tried to initiate one, she ended up declining. It always resulted in an argument to the extent that we both started sleeping in separate rooms. Things really started to come into full focus because that was when I started to hear more and more news of infidelity on my social media. So, I started having little doubts and I began thinking to myself that this can't be what's happening inside of my actual life. It was things like her laughing at her phone, walking away when she's taking phone calls, and going to a separate room when I walk into one room so she can finish her conversation with the person she's talking to. These are all attitudes and things that she wasn't doing prior to the time she told me she needed space for herself. So, at that point, I knew for a fact that she could be cheating, but I didn't have any proof yet. I would ask her who she was talking to, and she would just say it's her mother. It got to the point where she would stay late at work every single night, and I would call to see what was going on, but they would say she left hours ago. So that means she wasn't at work when she said she was at work. When I asked her about what was going on, she would just laugh it off and say that that's just something they do to each other at the office. She said that they do it all the time, and she has done it to some of her colleagues. Just lying and saying that they left hours ago when they were actually there. I'm going to be honest with you, that's a horrible joke. I still did not believe that that was a real joke people would be doing with each other at work. There was one instance when she went out to get some milk at around 11:30 in the night. Surprisingly, she didn't come back until 2 in the morning. And the crazy thing about it was the fact that she did not have any milk with her. This right here made me know for a fact that something was up. Now, this is one thing that I can pass on to everybody with all my years of experience in dating. If you think that your significant other is cheating on you, please go ahead and hire a private investigator. They're really good at what they do, and I know for a fact that they will get some evidence that will help you in your later divorce. So, I most definitely hired a private investigator, and I got a whole lot of evidence, and then I waited. I know what you might be thinking. Why would you wait until later on to confront somebody? Well, her birthday was just a few weeks away, and I needed the confrontation to be on her birthday celebration where there would likely be more than just the both of us together. I wanted as much evidence as possible to hand off to my lawyer. I also needed time to make arrangements to find a new place to live, and I also wanted for no story to come back to me from anybody else outside of the situation to state that I was the person that did anything wrong. I wanted everyone to know who was at fault, just in case things got out of control. As her birthday drew near, I asked about her plans for it, but she said she wanted me to go out and celebrate with my friends, and that she wanted to be alone at home and relax since she had to work on her birthday anyway. She also said that she did not want to be reminded that she was aging. I don't know why she thought it was a good idea for me to go and party for her while she stayed at home, but since I was already aware of what's to come, I consented to her request. The reason I asked about her plans was so I could also keep up with my plans to expose her affair. I planned to show her the evidence I had gotten of her and her lover in the presence of everyone, and I decided to throw a surprise party for her since she was going to be alone at home. I suspected she wanted to have a rendezvous in the house with her lover, but I didn't think much of it because, either way, she would still be in for a surprise. In the days that followed, I acted as though nothing was wrong with us, and I was careful with my interactions with her so as to avoid suspicions. 2 days to her birthday, I called up 2 of our close friends, male and female, and informed them about her upcoming birthday so that we could set up a surprise birthday party, and that they should not inform her about it since I intend to make it a surprise. I also called her parents and her younger siblings and told them that I wanted to give her a surprise by sneaking into the house with party streamer, music, cameras, and a big cake with all the candles, and they all agreed. The day of her birthday arrived, and I told her I was going to head out into town to meet with someone, but I went to my friend's house to get everything organized as planned. After a few hours, I made sure everyone was present just right outside of our apartment. We all got up in the elevator and her mother was holding the cake. The whole time, I was trying to keep everything smooth, reminding everyone that they need to be as quiet as humanly possible. When we got to the front door, I put my key in and I slowly unlocked the door. We all snuck in together and made our way towards the bedroom. The brother and others were holding the camera, and her friend holding half of the birthday cake with the mother. I looked back at everybody, and they were all grinning from ear to ear, ready for the surprise of the woman they all love. I threw open the door, and we all yelled surprise at that exact moment. Shockingly, the surprise was on us all. There was my wife, all laid out in the middle of the intimacy with her lover right there, staring at us wide-eyed in the middle of a thrust. Her mom dropped the cake, the sister screamed, the father trying to cut the camera off. I was just horrified. I was standing there speechless. I didn't know any of this was happening. Her friend was trying to push everybody out while yelling at her, saying how could she be this ungrateful and just wrong. My ex-wife started sobbing and screaming, and I was just looking at the lover who was desperately trying to put his pants on so he could get out of the whole situation. Needless to say, it was one of the best birthday presents I have ever given anybody. We got divorced shortly after all this, and since I had hired a private investigator and had evidence, and all of her family and our friends saw what happened, all the blames were directed to her. Now, her friend had gotten cheated on, and they had made a vow to never cheat on anybody together. She was a liar and a cheater, and because of the private investigation, I could prove that she was spending my money on things that were not for the relationship. She was spending it on her lover for some reason. I was able to get some compensation for all the things that she spent inside of our marriage. But at the end of the day, she still got half of my savings. Another big thing about this whole situation is that her parents looked at me as their son, like I was one of them. So because of what she did, they completely took her out of the will and made sure she was excommunicated from the family. Her younger brother had also gotten cheated on, so he took it personal because she was there to console him when he was cheated on. So now, everyone is looking at her as a hypocrite. I'm still mad I lost half of my savings though. I feel like I should have argued better in the divorce court, but at the same time, it is what it is. I'm just happy she's not in my life anymore. So yes, this is how it all happened. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, I'll see you again. Take care.